Hope Bryant.
And your friend.
Oh, of course you are my friend. You probably, like you said, you are only here because of me.
Oh, look, I'd be asleep. I'd be turning. I got in last night from New York from Clinton Global Initiatives, which is fantastic, by the way. And people need to stop complaining about that. I mean, my God, they helped 500 million poor people. If they're bringing rich people together who want to be around the Clintons to take money for poor people, then fantastic. That's a great thing.
Right.
Why are we upset with people trying to help poor people? Anyway, so I was there, and then, by the way, we're Facebook Live. Hello, everybody. For my incredible friend Maggie, who has this great show, and I want everybody to know about it here in DC. So I did that. Went back to the 125th anniversary, 25th anniversary of SunTrust Bank, which is one of our lead partners.
Yes.
And then flew back in first thing this morning for you.
Thank you.
Only you. I was asleep on the plane, and walking from the plane, I was sleeping walking. But love is work.
Yes. Yeah. You love this work, and you also spread a lot of what needs to be done, and it's not hard, but it is commitment, and that's what you need from people. You know, people say, I don't know if I want to. Yeah, you do. You need to make a difference in your lives.
Well,
all of them.
But if we don't, what are we doing? Like,
why are you here?
I mean, why are you here? You just taking
Exactly.
up space. You just, Natasha, my wife, was asking me the other day, she said, are you going to get emotional when Clinton Global Initiatives is winding down? Probably. You don't get emotional a lot on personal things. What's the difference? If my Uncle JoJo comes in this world, lives 50 years, has a child, gets a job, pays his taxes, dies, you know what? That's what he was supposed to do. There's nothing extraordinary about that. I'm glad he was here. But, so I'm not going to, thank you. I'm going to go to his funeral. But if JoJo goes and volunteers his time, if JoJo creates a foundation to help underprivileged children, if JoJo goes to another country and creates a mentoring program, if my Uncle JoJo, in this phantom example, does something extraordinary that extends himself beyond himself to help somebody less than him that he does not know, now he's a hero in my life. Now I'm going to get emotional. And that's why I like Ambassador Andrew Young. 85 years old, still breaking his neck trying to help poor people, even when they don't appreciate it. This is the closest thing we have to Nelson Mandela. And we just take it for granted. In Atlanta, say, oh, Andy. When Nelson Mandela was alive, did they call him Nell? No, it's Ambassador Andrew Young. He's my play father, and I call him Ambassador Andrew Young. Yes. I'm sick and tired of us being sick and tired. I'm tired of low aim. I'm tired of low aim. I'm tired of us seeing ourselves as victims. And everybody else is too, by the way. Yeah. We've wasted 8 years of the Obama administration basically protesting, being pissed off, angry, frustrated, basically public therapy. Did we sit down and have a strategy? Black folks need a business plan. That's what we need.
And you give them a business plan with your book.
Well, I'm trying.
Well, let's
How
talk
the
about
Poor can save capitalism. That book, which thank you very much, and then I have another one I'm writing called The Memo.
Okay.
Be out next year.
Oh, well, you'll be back for that one too.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Whatever you say is the answer. Whatever you say.
Let's talk about your book, because with the economic, as we've said before, if you're out there rioting, it's because you ain't got nothing else to do. People who have jobs, people who have places to go the following day, they're not out rioting at midnight.
The black woman with 2 children who got to put food on the table, who has a job, 2 jobs, she looks at this and she lives in North Carolina. She said, what are y'all doing? Y'all just burned down the place that I work that puts food on the table for my child. You're not helping me. You're hurting me. And when she walks into work, assuming it's not burned down tomorrow, all of her coworkers look at her crazy. Like, they really want to say, what's wrong with your people? That's what they really want to say. They're not going to say it. It's inappropriate. But that's what they really want to say.
Exactly.
We should be embarrassed by this. We should call it out. I've got a phrase. There's a lot of love in the word no. I love you, but you need to get a job. I love you, but if you can do the crime, you dang sure going to do the time.
Right.
I love you, but if you don't have this child, you have got to take care of them. You're not a mama's. That's not a daddy's baby or a mama's baby or whatever that little stupid phrase is. Yeah. Oh, I'm a daddy baby, or what do you think the kid thinks about daddy, who's not saying I'm your father. No, I'm your daddy baby.
Yeah.
I'm not claiming
Baby
it.
daddy.
Baby daddy, baby mama. I don't want to articulate it because I don't claim it. But this is complete lunacy. If you're gonna be a community leader, producing community results.
Right.
So we have got to start holding people accountable. And we're gonna get upset with a police officer for shooting a black man who had a gun in his hand. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about in general. You put a gun. You raise a gun at me. I'm a police officer. I'll shoot you. I'm going home tonight. But we don't say anything when a black man shoots an innocent black woman in a car on the south side of Chicago, kills her, and takes her away from her children. We should be saying that's wrong too. Yeah. We should be circling that brother and saying, you will not do this in our neighborhood anymore. It's 10 of us. You got to shoot all of us. Because we're not dealing with this terrorism in our own neighborhood. We are afraid of you. You need to know that. We don't respect you. We're afraid of you. This is not honor. This is terror, right? Yeah. And so we need to start calling it out. And if our cousin Boo Boo did it, then cousin Boo Boo's going to jail.
That's right. And don't be afraid to tell. Because these people are protecting people.
Protecting what? And by the way, if you were the person being abused, all of a sudden it's, oh no, we got to get that person. That person beat up my grandma. But if it's your cousin beat up grandma, all of a sudden we got an excuse for it. If it's your cousin with 3 Uzis in his pocket who got pulled over by the police and the police whipped his rear end, all of a sudden we are protecting cousin. What are you doing with 3 Uzis in your pocket? Look, there are legitimate experiences of racism. A lot of these police shootings are completely unjustified.
Right.
Completely.
Guy in Oklahoma.
The guy in Oklahoma, Tulsa. But we strip ourselves of the moral authority to rally for those people by calling up protection for every black man who ever got shot by a police officer. Come on now. Come on. Where's our discretion? Where is our common sense? We've got to say that one's legitimate.
This one is not.
This one isn't. Nobody should get killed.
Know the difference between the two.
And know the difference between the two and have enough self-respect to say, I'm not protecting that madness.
Yeah, I agree.
Dr. King once said, you can't kill me, but I can freely give my life. Now that's a bad brother. He said, he was in Memphis for the sanitation walkers strike for the Poor People's Campaign. And he said, a man cannot stand on your back unless you're bent over. You cannot ride your back unless you're bent over. Straighten your back up. Get your chest out. And then they had the signs, I am a man. I am a man. Well, I am a man is not a baby daddy. Okay? That's not I am a man. I am a man takes care of responsibility. Goes and gets a job. Doesn't do this.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you 100%. When you talk about the need to stand up, so much of that also begins with education and folks going out to vote. We had a caller the other day said that because of some of the recent laws that have been passed, Dr. King probably wouldn't want us to vote. And I said, are you crazy?
Wow.
And then when he said that, of course, I jumped out.
Come on now.
But so did our listeners. It's like,
they did.
Did you understand? And he says, because of, homosexuals and gays getting married and all this kind of stuff. And I said, do you know the person who arranged the March on Washington?
No, wait a minute. Dr. King was asked by Andrew Young. Well, Andrew Young was in the room. What do you think about homosexuals? He said, well, I don't know. But if you remove homosexuals from the church, the band and the music will suffer. I mean, he was a man of inclusion.
Exactly. That's exactly why. And we're so busy separating each other out one way or the other. This one's that one, this one's that one.
Depression. Lack of hope. If I don't like me, I'm not going to like you. If I don't feel good about me, I'm not going to feel good about you. If I don't respect me, I'm not going to respect you. If I don't love me, I don't know how to love you. And here's the big one. If I don't have a purpose in my life, I want to make your life a living hell. Yeah. I've got no hope. I don't care about me, so I'll take you out. Right? So look, Dr. King was an expert in what he was for, not what he was against.
That's right.
The only problem I have with Black Lives Matter is there's no strategy. The marching is the strategy. I'm sorry, as far as I can see. Maybe somebody can send me a document, but I haven't seen the strategy. Dr. King and Dr. King also believed this: talk without being offensive, listen without being defensive, and always leave even your adversary with their dignity. Why are we trying to de-dignify the other side? Make your point, state your claim, say I want it fixed. Make your point, state your claim, and say I want it fixed. And when they fix it, give them an attaboy. Yeah. Give them their dignity back. Because if you just say all you guys are racist and all cops are bad and all the, what motivation do they have to do anything? Yeah. You're attacking them. Mm-hmm. You're going to call me an SOB? Mm-hmm. You're going to call me out of my name? I didn't do anything to you, but try to protect you. When you call 911 at midnight because somebody's breaking your house, you're not complaining about me, right? When I get there in 30 seconds, you're happy about that. But how do you expect them to feel?
Don't lump all. But we also
I got bums in my family, Maggie. You don't need to go to racist cops. Everybody watching got a bum in their family. Mm-hmm. Everybody got a cousin boo boo.
Who has boo boo?
Yeah. Every white person's got a bum in their family. Every black person's got a bum in their family. Every Latino person's got a bum in their family. Every Republican Party, the Democratic Party, we all have the bum factor. So why are we grouping as if black folks are just so angelic? Oh, we being repressed. Yeah, some of the repression's coming from cousin boo boo. Mm-hmm. So let's call it what it is. T.I. is wrong behavior by some. Yes. And leave the rest of them with their dignity. Give them a chance to redeem themselves, for God's sakes. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, see, this is what happens when I get not enough sleep and too much coffee.
No. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Once again, folks, if you want to comment, number 866-801-8255. But if you don't call, that's okay, because we got someone who can talk and gives us some really good reasons for moving forward.
And I mean, just so that people are clear, somebody's coming in the middle of this interview, is this guy jamming us up?
No.
I love you. Mm-hmm. I love black folks. I love white folks. I love everybody. Mm-hmm. God is love. I love you. But I want us to get off our rear ends. I want us to be about something. Forward. I want us to move forward. I want us to, Tasha was saying, when I say, we're rearranging the deck chairs in the Titanic. The ship is sinking and we're picking drapes. And she says, yeah, no, we're not even picking drapes. We want to know who did it. who sunk the Titanic? We focus on the conspiracy.
On the wrong thing.
This is what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Everything's a conspiracy. It's exhausting. My Ethiopian friends, blacker than you and me together, mm-hmm. come over from over Africa with a suitcase and $10. Get here, dealing with the same racism, whatever. 2 years later, own an Uber franchise.
Yeah.
Explain that one to me.
It's the truth.
You go to the Park Hyatt Hotel, the whole valet crew, Ethiopians, because one got hired, then they got their boys hired. Yeah. But they had to do a good job. They had to show up on time. They got to deliver some results. The front desk, all
dependable.
Hello, produce some results. Yeah. Everybody
not afraid to work.
You swear the Park Hyatt was owned by Ethiopians. Everybody working there is Ethiopians because they hooked their family and friends up, but they had to produce value. So if life is all racism, they couldn't get those jobs.
That's true. That's true. All right. They're starting to light up. Major from Dallas. Good morning, Major. Thank you for calling. Mm-hmm.
Get that man a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah. Quote from John. Yep. Thank you.
look. First
Thank
of
you,
all, brother,
Major.
I love you,
We're
man.
applauding you.
You're applauding you.
Yeah.
God bless you. We need 1,000 more black men just like you. I want to give you an award or something, and tell your daughters make sure they check the credit of that brother before they go out on a date. make sure he's got good credit before they as I say, live your life 8 to 10. 1 to 5 is mediocrity. Even the Bible says, "Be hot or be cold. If you lukewarm, I'll spat you out." Translation: even God doesn't like mediocrity. 5 to 7 is the guy you got. 5 to 7 is the guy you date but you don't marry. And 8 to 10 is excellence. Make sure your daughter is marrying 8 to 10 and check their credit.
Beyond that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Maggie. Save me.
Mm-hmm.
So look, Major, we have limited time, but I want to tell you, she needs to bring you on next time and leave me on the sidelines.
No.
You're exactly, but for the listeners, I want you to hear, we're not judging you. We're not saying everybody's not lucky. Major had somebody who loved him growing up. I had my mother told me she loved me every day of my life. Maggie's father, Maggie had a father at home who was a small business owner. We're modeling what we see. So clearly there are a lot of kids who don't have the advantages we're talking about. I grew up in Compton, California. My next door neighbor was Tweet, a thug. But Tweet would have been a brilliant young man if his family wasn't toe up. His parents would toe up. His daddy wasn't there. He's angry. My best friend, brilliant, A+ student. I was C+. I wanted to be like my best friend George. George wanted to be like Tweet. Because we led by culture. George got pulled in the thug culture. He gets killed with Tweet. So hold on, Major, hold on. So I think we need to make it clear. We got to become the new tribe. We got to reach. That's why I'm saying we got to go mentor a child. We can't just we can't be pointing fingers. You got to go in that school, spend 2 hours a month teaching, showing yourself so kids can look at you and say, "I can be you." Maggie brings interns in here. I've met them who are now producers. Right. They started out as interns. She don't take credit for it. I'm gonna say it.
My producer out there right now was my intern.
See, I didn't know that.
The next,
this is the second producer I've met who started as an intern, young African American. But this is how you change the world.
That's right.
Not through, you can do more through evolution than revolution any day. Get the memo, folks. Learn how to master the game. Don't hit somebody with a brick. Hit them with your American Express black card and knock them out.
All right, Major. Yes.
Give us her name. What's her name?
What's her name, Major? Dorothy Barnett.
Dorothy Barnett, Major, we love you.
I gotta go. Thank you so much. And thank you for that shout out. All right, thank you. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have about 15 more minutes left for you and John Hope Bryant. Stay tuned.
We're Facebook Live, folks. Hey. I'm here with Maggie. This is a bad sister. Maggie, who I just absolutely love. And understand this, half of life is relationship capital. So I didn't find her in the phone book. She didn't find me in the phone book. I'm here because she's a friend and in a relationship. And I respect her, admire her, love her. And I got on a plane and flew, hundreds of miles because she asked me to. But that's what you do for friends. But Maggie, she has her own show here, designs it, produces it, owns her own show on this huge network by her under her own name, Maggie Linton. But also she's following a legacy. Her dad owned a couple businesses, right? Was it a barbershop?
Well, it was a barbershop, and then he did a little bit of real estate, and always stayed involved politically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your dad showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Showed up and showed out.
And my mom had her own business, too. She was a beautician.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just uncovered her degree the other day.
Really?
From Madam C.J. Walker Beauty School in Kansas City, Missouri.
Boom.
I also, while I was going through, discovered her voting registration.
Really?
From 1936.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We gotta regain the excellence and the sense of dignity. You know, we used to have rent parties back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody couldn't make rent, you didn't complete. You had a party on Friday night. Everybody showed up with $5.
And
she made
food.
Rent and some food.
Yeah.
And by the way, it was potluck. Bring your own potty out of luck. And then the next week, the next person who couldn't pay rent, they had a party. Yeah. So we didn't go begging. Yeah. We didn't go stealing. We didn't go complaining. We stuck together, but we had a plan. Mm-hmm. And it was dignity rich. Okay. Our backs were up. Our heads were out. We had a sense of our own somebodyness, right?
Lifting up and bringing others with us.
And we need to get back to those basics. You know, we need to have salon dinners at our house where you invite 10 people and talk about things that matter with one premise: no arguments.
That's right.
Step over mess, not in it. Yeah. Agree to disagree, and leave your adversary with their dignity. And then let's have a conversation about 10 things that matter. Mm-hmm. And don't jam up the person because they have a different political view. Listen, hear them out.
Yes.
You might learn something.
Yeah, exactly. 2 ears, one mouth.
God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. You listen twice as much as you talk. Yep. Hello. This is the first time Facebook Live has seen me this way on an interview. Normally I'm just talking right in the camera and bugging everybody. But I thought it was important to expose them to what you're doing. And I'm going to start trying to take the camera with me where I go from time to time. We have this big meeting.
Well, I miss your little daily thoughts that you put on Facebook. I really do. I miss them.
Oh, they're still there. They just moved over to my public figures page. So they're just not on. I kept my.
I guess I'm still with the personal.
That's right. That's right. Which is boring. Videos of kitties and cats
and the dog with the toys
and people telling people how corrupt Donald Trump is. Yeah. But if that's
a news flash.
Oh my God, this guy's a disaster. I mean, he is an absolute. I mean, by the way, I've never done this in all my life. I've never called out a politician ever, ever. Yeah. But this guy is just dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. The fact that anybody's even supporting him.
Of course, here he is. You know, part of the reason that Hillary's getting jammed up, they only have 2 things to talk about: email and the foundation. They got 29,000 even to talk about him.
Well, welcome back. We continue with entrepreneur, author, advisor, empowerment leader, and the founder and CEO of Operation Hope and Bryant Group Companies. It is John Hope Bryant. Folks, go get the book. Should be in every home library. How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, Rebuilding the Path to the Middle Class. It's available everywhere. Going to go to John in Florida. Good morning, John. Thank you for calling. Good morning, John. Oh, we went back to
John,
with Eugene.
Hey, John, we got you. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Eugene. Yes, go right ahead. Mm-hmm.
Call it out, brother. Call it out. Is somebody not gotten back to you? Okay, do you want to volunteer? What do you want to do? Okay, I know where you're going. I can't guarantee you a job, so if you didn't call you back, they might not. Okay. All right. Oh, God bless you. I'll call you back myself.
I got his number.
So look, here's the email address, and my staff is going to kill me. My chief of staff is Rachel Duff, RACHAEL.DOFF at operationhope.org. Send her an email. Or Janae Roscoe, who's here in D.C. It's even better. She's my government relations and public policy person. globally. She's here. She's actually in the studio with me. Janae, Jena.Roscoe, Roscoe, at operationhope.org. Janae Roscoe. She will get back to you. We'll get you in our system in Baltimore. We're opening up a Hope Inside at Whole Foods. I think in Baltimore. So we're certainly got a Hope Inside with I think it's BB and T Bank in Baltimore. We have a whole Baltimore agenda, and I know we're doing 2 Hope Insides inside of Whole Foods. I think one of them is Baltimore. All right. Man. God bless you. Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. John from Florida. Good morning, John. Thank you for calling.
I'm just trying to respond. That's all. Do you want a response? Do you want to respond? What you said. It was a bit of sort of mixed metaphors. You said it wasn't a white thing, but then you went right to, you said white race at least 5 sometimes. I have heard the president shooting at the wrong problem. Is there injustice in these shootings? Many of them, yes. You just heard me say that. The problem is not the happening. It's happening in 500 credit score neighborhoods. 100% of these problems are in problems where men all riled up is because they were paying this guy whose name I don't want to mention anymore. If he had the choice, he's using them, and I guess they're using him as a stripper pole. She just says, no woman gets up and says, "Ooh, my career ambition is to be on a stripper." Economics. That's no. I don't think most brothers want to be drug dealers. Memo on money. 1865. We have a very smart man. Please look it up. We're the only race of people, sir, in a for an economic one. And to quote Van Jones, and police would be at the very so on. The dynamics. Don't trust me. Check it out. On this issue, and no decision you make emotionally is ever going to be a good one. Second of all, okay, oh, okay. Here's what they think about you. My pastor, Reverend Murray, said, it's not what people call you, it's what you answer to. Officer pulls me. We all need to watch that Chris Rock video, the really funny one about how to deal with police. It's funny, but it's really good. To pull me out of ask me to get out of my car. Okay. Take his badge number, and I'm gonna make some phone calls. Gun and a badge, and he's in a bad. He's probably depressed, but I'm gonna. Like me, and once we know who we are, these other problems, and once we have some economic, these problems begin to mitigate. No, hold on.
For a century.
Hold on. More people were lynched. More people were lynched in the leading up to the civil rights movement. I'm not belittling the issue. I'm giving you context now. The media piece here explodes all this, and we got 35 million fortunate shootings, if you want to call it, in a couple of years. But we have 30 million black folks who don't have a business plan for their life. We got you name the problem. I think, with all due respect, whatever they are, have a greater sense of ending our life as a our PhDs and all of our social scientists and all our nonprofit groups focused on this one issue. We are winning the battle and we're losing the war. I'm talking about and fighting in the streets.
Yeah.
And the color's green, my man. It's not about white, black, red, brown, and yellow. It's green. This is a great conversation, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not controlling it. But we're not controlling it. Sir, hold on, wait a minute. I travel 600,000 air miles a year. Last time I checked, I'm black. I have not had. I'm running into police all the time. Nobody's whipping my. I can't say this.
Yes, you can.
Nobody's whipping my ass. I haven't had. I mean, look. I don't know anybody who in the last 2 years told me that the police just hauled off and whipped their ass, and a couple of them actually said some unchoice things to them. Are there incidents? Yes. Are there horrible incidents? Are there senseless murders? Yes. I'm not belittling that. I'm saying that this is one of many things we've got to solve. But we are so depressed. We're so hopeless. We're so victimized. It's almost like PTSD. Mm-hmm. Now we got a symbol of authority that's supposed to protect us, and now we go absolutely ape crap because that one really upsets us more than anybody else. But now you're off your game. You're emotional. And now we're not executing on the larger issues of creating a family structure, a male at home, a cousin boo-boo with a job, which would solve the problem of him not being out in the middle of the street at 2 o'clock in the afternoon with a gun in his waist belt. I'm saying that when we make this our sole issue, and then that translates into how we've then articulated that publicly. I get that email from the brother in Saudi Arabia who doesn't want to invest in your new business and create 100 people like you in your community. He just wants to feel sorry for you and send $10 to Black Lives Matter. And now we become the victim people, the anger people, the everybody's
we need to refocus
racism against us people.
Right.
We're the maligned people, and that's just not a good brand, brother. Just not a good brand. My middle name's Hope, brother. Don't be fearful. That's exactly
that's exactly what you're giving them
That's
the
right.
juice to move against you.
This dude
Do not live in fear.
This dude running from president is feeding on nothing but fear.
Mm-hmm.
There's two things in the world, my man. There's love and there's fear. What you don't love, you fear. And the reason this world is all screwed up is that most of our so-called leaders are leading by fear. Because I don't fear the police. I don't have a problem with the police. I can't make it any more simple.
All right. Thank you, John. Folks, I wish I had more time with John Hope Bryant.
They don't. They're like, this has been real. It's been nice. It ain't been real nice. This guy's got to go.
Hey, listen, I always wish you safe travels. I'm so glad you took the time to stop by. It's been too long.
I love you.
I love you too. And it's easy. And I got your wife sitting in there, and she knows
She
it too.
she heard me.
Many thanks to John Hope Bryant, founder and CEO of Operation Hope and Bryant Group Companies. His book, Get It: How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, Rebuilding the Path to the Middle Class. It can be found at Amazon.com, other locations, including his website, OperationHope.org. It's the same on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Boom. Tomorrow, a salute to the National Museum of African American History and Culture when we chat with Deborah Watts, Emmett Till's cousin, and co-founder of the Emmett Till Legacy Foundation.
Ask her about abuse.
Yeah. Rosalind Withers, daughter of legendary civil rights photojournalist Dr. Ernest Withers, Northern California Museum ambassadors, plus editor and author Tanya Bolden with her book, How to Build a Museum. Many thanks to my producer, former intern, Kim Dawson, and also joining us today, new producer, Dan Fromm. Until next time, folks, seek peace and spread lots of love. Thank you so much for your calls today. God bless you all.
Facebook
I'm
out.
Maggie Linton. Yeah. All right. Super.
That was the once the last caller sort of got back into his zone, he's completely rational. But that's what happens. You get amped up, you get emotional, you get angry, and you lose context.
Yeah.
I mean, and then they win. They win because they want to get you emotional.
Exactly.
They want you to be fearful.
Exactly.
And then we start creating situations. Now we are afraid of every police officer.
Exactly.
So now we're creating an adversarial environment for the police when you could have just, I see police all the time. Thanks for protecting our neighborhoods. You know, policewoman. Boom! See, that's what I'm talking about. We have it in our family.
Officer,
Guys, I'm gonna. Mr. Hope, it's not that easy.